Justin has the most amazing voice and is super intimidating to sing on a track with because he's the singer that I kind of learned how to sing from. When I heard him come in on that second chorus, I hadn't recorded my higher octave yet, and I was like, oh my god, I'm never gonna be able to sing that.
What if I sin? What if I break you?
That's a lot of my self-doubt and fear coming in. It took me a minute to be able to sing up there with him.
I can treat you better than he can, and any girl like you deserves
I sound so much younger. I think I was trying to do my like best Police, like Sting. Better than he can. Like as Sting as I could do it. I love that. I love that vocal though. That it just like when I listen to that stuff, it just reminds me of like how much I put into those songs when I was younger, which was really instinctual to me, you know. And that's Teddy Geiger. All I had was the bum dum 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 dum. She put in this boom dana 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 underneath the octaves. It really like changed the song. I thought it was so gorgeous. I was just playing octaves on the chord, and you hear a lot of octaves being played like by Let It Go by James Bay, or Don't Let Me Down by the Chainsmokers, Treat You Better, Cheap Thrills. They're all octaves, and you go back and you hear the similarities in them. But Treat You Better, not that it's about this, but was one of the very first times that I heard that in a long time.
Oh, I've been shaking. I love it when you go crazy. You take all my inhibitions. Baby, there's nothing holding me back.
I was really sick the day I recorded There's Nothing Holding Me Back. I really shouldn't have been singing, but the reason that chorus sounds like I'm like on my last dying breath, in a good way, I like to think, is because I felt like I was, but I was so excited about the song idea. I woke up in the morning with the bum 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 in my head, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but it had to be done. At first there was like a kind of like an In My Blood Part 1 that never came out. I guess I listened to the demo of it a lot of times. That never happens to me, but I really woke up with the melody. Bum 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 bum, and it was just like in my head. And I had this little guitar lele. It's like a little ukulele with 6 strings on it, and if you play it on that thing, it would sound like the record.
Land in Miami, the air was hot from summer rain, sweat dripping off me before I even knew her name. La, la, la.
The thing with Senorita for me was, it was really high for me to sing. I guess this is a pattern for me, but it felt really high to sing that first verse, and it was like, it sounded different than I've ever sang before. I've always been very like low in the verses and super kind of more in a speech zone, and I was really kind of being more singy up there. The song is really about a lock of timing, and Andrew Watt and his perfect timing and guitar playing and bass playing, and the way the bass is mixed in with the guitar part, and the guitar part's mixed in with the 808s, and the 808s are mixed in with the background vocals, is like, if you could see it, it would look like a perfect spider web, and that's really hard to do.
I love it when you call me señorita.
Camila, to the stage, he's just effortlessly incredible at singing. Just like, no matter what, at any time of the day, the first thing she sings in the morning sounds incredible. It might just be because I love her that I think it sounds so great. I think when you have a tension with someone and you have feelings for someone, you kind of ride this line of tension and you know how to sing with them. And singing is kind of like a dance. And even to this day, if we were to sit down with a guitar, we'd immediately be able to snap into a lock with each other, because it's this dance that we've learned since we were like 16 and did our first song.
You've got a hold of me, don't even know your power. I stand 100 feet.
Looking back at Mercy, I would say that was the easiest time I've ever had writing a song. That ended up being a single. I remember walking in and starting to write the bridge and the words and the melodies coming to me, and I think when there's so much emotion to latch onto in a song, it kind of just takes over my fear section in my mind that hesitates for everything that I do. But yeah, Mercy was a breeze compared to everything else I've done.
Baby, please have mercy on me. Take it easy.
That was when I really started to discover a vulnerability and like a real power, I think, in my voice. And the power wasn't coming from trying harder, the power was coming from trying less, and the power was coming from surrendering to whatever the song wanted to bring out of me. I really learned it that day because I remember I was in the studio and I was always afraid to kind of really go for it, and the producer that was in the studio was like, go again, but like just go for it, like go for it, like go for it, go for it, go for it. And he kept pushing me until finally you get that final last bit before the last chorus. It sounds like a war cry more than it sounds like singing.
Oh, please have mercy on me.
Come on, young Sean. I gotta give myself credit for that one. I think that's such a good vocal. But yeah, that's the power of losing yourself in the song. And it doesn't always happen, unfortunately, but when you do let the song win and you surrender, you find magic like that.
Got a feeling that I'm going under, but I know that I'll make it out alive. If I quit calling.
I think at 16 I had no idea what I was singing about. I think it was more like I loved the sound of the song and I loved what I was, like how it felt when I sang it. I definitely wasn't like in a heartbreak relationship at the time or even anything close to that. I was just more so obsessed with the vibe of the song, you know? Sometimes that's more important than being connected to the concept. Sometimes it's just about if it moves you in any way, it moves you. And that's the beauty of music.
Needle in the bed, gonna wind up dead. Needle in the bed, got it.
The Bridge of Stitches ended up becoming a formula that I had for bridges. I remember before I heard Stitches, I was like, I want a bridge that starts off in the lower octave and then jumps up the octave before the last chorus. Needle in the thread, gotta get you out. Needle in the thread, gotta get you out of my head. Same thing in Holding Me Back. I go, and I jump up the octave.
We'd be alright, I know we would be alright. Cause if we lost our mind.
Same thing in Mercy. Consuming all the air inside my lungs. Consuming all the air inside my lungs. And it became like a formula for tension and release, which was like drop down and get really quiet and very intimate, and then explode and sing as hard as I could and end up in the chorus. I still love that formula.
I can't write one song that's not about you.
This is like so stupid but so honest and true, but I was like, am I writing like weird songs? Like do I have to write cooler songs, which is such a silly thing. Don't ever question yourself, just make the music that you love. I remember I was in my condo apartment with Scott Harris and I was like, just started singing this melody. I can't write one song that's not about you, can you? And I was like, this is like so pop, but this is what I love. And just completely went all the way there with it.
I can't write one song that's not about you. Can't drink with.
That's a choir. We got a choir. A lot of me layered vocals, but we have a choir singing behind me. That's my go to church moment. And I'm such a sucker for anything that's like a one song that's not about you, can't you? And it's like just a breakdown and everyone's singing.
Everything means nothing if I can't have you.
I do a really high falsetto note. That's super fun. Started singing a lot more falsetto, especially in the newer album.
You put me on a pedestal and tell me I'm the best. Raise me up into the sky until I'm short of breath.
I wrote Monster 3 years ago with Daniel Caesar and Mustafa the Poet and Frank Dukes. Even when we wrote it, I don't even think we knew how special it was because it was just like a real moment between us, sitting in a circle in Frank's studio in Toronto looking over the city streets.
What if I fall? Then am I the monster?
It was more about the conversation, which was about how society likes to put celebrities up on a pedestal. Fast forwarding 3 years though to today, realizing that it's not even about celebrities anymore. It's about how society puts each other up on pedestals because everyone has social media and everyone's trying to meet these unrealistic, inhuman expectations of perfection. And the second someone messes up or says something wrong or does anything that doesn't meet that bar, we just like tear each other down, or it's an unfollow or it's a block. It's so engraved in us now to be affected by that. Even as someone like, I have like 3 therapists and like do and meditate and like do all the things possible, but like social media still somehow has this huge grip on my life.
Fill me up with confidence, I say what's in my chest. Spill my words and tear me down until there's nothing left.
It was more of a message, which is like, look, humans are messy. I don't know when we decided that we had to be perfect, but it's unfair to everybody. We trip and we fall, but if anything, we need to kind of be there for each other to get back up.
What if I fall? Then am I the monster?
Justin has the most amazing voice and is super intimidating to sing on a track with, because he's the singer that I kind of learned how to sing from. When I heard him come in on that second chorus, I hadn't recorded my higher octave yet, and I was like, oh my god, I'm never going to be able to sing that. And that's a lot of my self-doubt and fear coming in, but it took me a minute to be able to sing up there with him.
Then am I the monster? Just let me know.
I'm really proud of the vocal in that section, because I feel like it is similar, but you feel our differences and you feel how different of artists we are.
Right before I close my eyes, the only thing that's on my mind, been dreaming that you.
The thing that really helped me this time around making the album was, instead of being in a vocal booth, I would stand with an SM7 and I would stand in the room and I kind of would hold it like I was performing to a crowd. Because anytime I would stand in the booth, I'd get covered in anxiety of like, I gotta get the take, and I would just pretend I was performing with a mic.
Right before I close my eyes, the only thing.
I must have done like 100 takes of that section to get it right, because I was so adamant about it being like almost like mathematically perfect with the timing of it. I knew that I wanted that moment to happen, I just didn't know when I wanted it to happen. I think the thing that was constantly in my head was, how do I mix like Kanye and the Beatles and have that like synth driven. We were using a Voyager, it's a synth, a Voyager synth. The real magic in that outro section is being played on the drums, which is being played by Nate Mercero. It was a moment of freedom and a moment of like, how do we just take this thing to a level of like, this is almost a little too loud and jarring, and we're like, it's distorting a little bit. The drums are the key to that whole section, but there's this beautiful super high tremolo guitar following through along the line. We tracked like 8 different singers, and they're singing like 4 different parts, along with my vocal with a harmony engine, tons of vocals inside of it. That's my favorite instrumental section of the whole album, is that ending of Wonder right there. I only had my little laptop with GarageBand on it, and I played the keys in of the synth, and I distorted it with my voice and created that, and then we put a harmony engine on it, and it creates that intro effect that you hear. And I really wanted it to be like a choir at first. For some reason, there was nothing that was matching the magic of just that vocal kind of all messed up. I love that. I love sonically, like the chords of that song were the whole essence of the album. I mean, I wonder if I can find it. This is the original. And I did this in Mexico. I was with my family in Mexico. This is just like GarageBand. And then I recorded my vocal and pitched it up. And that was the first thing I created for the album. I didn't know it was going to be Wonder though.
Help me. It's like the walls are caving in. Sometimes I feel like giving up.
There was like this little machine inside of the studio where you basically would push down the notes on a piano keyboard, and then you could strum strings, and we were like pushing down the notes, and that's when the came to life from like this weird piano keyboard.
But I just can't. It isn't in my blood.
I really like to push myself to the limit of like, this might sound like I'm screaming for my life to be saved. Obviously, since Mercy and like Treat You Better, like to In My Blood, to Wonder, like there's always has to be a moment in the song where I'm like in the booth doing it so hard that I am like gasping for air after it. There's a range in my voice that's like easy, and then there's this thing called a pistachio, which is like between my chest voice and my head voice. If I'm not careful, it'll break and my voice will break. And above that I can sing, and underneath that I can sing, but right on that note, if I'm not careful, it will break. And I like to always write my songs where they hit the highest point on that note, which I think is like an F sharp, around an F sharp. That's why usually at those moments I am singing with such emotion, because it's not that it's easy for me, the note. It's actually a really difficult note for me to sing. But every time I do that, when it comes to having to sing the song on tour, I always regret it, because it's one thing to sing it in the studio one time, but to have to sing it every night for 100 shows makes me really upset. I'm like a lover for music, and I'm a lover for that emotion, and if I can get it, I really I don't think about future me. It's always like what in the moment is the most emotive.